And as far as nutrition goes, because a lot of people eat energy bars and all those things, so what's your take on this whole energy bar business? I know somebody who eats energy bar twice a day when he's snacking, and you know, what would you say to that?
Well, food bars, energy bars if you will, are a potential substitute for food depending on the food bar. Most of them, and I have studied this in nutrition classes, are basically, if you look at the ingredients, glorified candy bars.
Wow, okay.
There is, I don't know if you want me to use a brand name, but I do mention it in the book. Is that acceptable, that I do recommend?
Well, oh, you are recommending.
Right.
I think we'll just skip that and just generally talk about.
Well, I would say if you're going to choose your food bar,
right,
look at your fiber content.
Okay.
That's a real good way of telling whether it's got an adequate supply of fiber and other nutrients which are likely to be in something with a good fiber content.
Right.
So the food bar that I eat when I use one has 5 grams of fiber. If you look at many popular brands, there's 1.
Oh, that doesn't sound too good.
So I would say if you see 1 or 2 grams of fiber, there's probably not a lot of good stuff in there. But
this is, again, my personal opinion. What's wrong with an apple or a banana or an orange? I think that's nature's original energy bar.
Oh no, that's great stuff.
I mean, what can be better than that? I don't see the point in having packaged foods.
Well, the one thing I would say about a food bar is it is kind of balanced nutrition. So I would say for your breakfast, you would want more than just an apple. You want to try to get your carbohydrate, protein, fat in some sort of reasonable combination. An apple is a great snack.
Right, I was talking about between meals kind of snack.
I wouldn't really recommend a food bar. A food bar is a substitute for breakfast. You could use it for a snack, but I would recommend definitely for a between meal snack, nuts in moderation and seeds.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't have to worry as much with moderation about the fruits and vegetables, things like that. Whole wheat pita.
Right.
A whole wheat, well, not a whole grain rice cake, you know, wheat, whole grain rice cake.
Yes.
Things like that are definitely, would be my recommendation over something processed like a food bar. But if you are going to eat a food bar, make sure it's got some nutritional value in it.
Well, I always thought of fruit bars as something that people ate between meals. I had no idea people were actually eating it as substitute for food. That sounds terrible.
A breakfast,
when you can have real food.
If the recommendation is definitely to eat a real breakfast, well, the old saying is that you should breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dine like a pauper.
Yes.
But what that doesn't mean is that you should get your breakfast from a place that gives you a little paper crown.
Yes.
That's not what we mean by breakfasting like a king.
No fast food, please. That's, I guess, the caveat.
Breakfast should be your largest meal of the day in theory. Now, even if it isn't, and look, nobody's going to live a perfect lifestyle, you should have breakfast. Because, as I mentioned before, your muscles can only store glycogen for about 12 hours. That's the storage form of carbohydrates. After that, if you deplete your glycogen supply, your body's going to have to get energy from somewhere, so it's probably going to have to break down lean body mass muscle tissue and use it for fuel.